Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. I am Austin Ward. This is another BuckIQ, and we're shifting gears back over to the offensive side of the football. That's Gunnar Hoak, former Ohio State quarterback. Nobody better than somebody who's been in this offense, who's worked with Ryan Day and Corey Dennis and Kevin Wilson to tell us what's been going on. Gunnar, welcome back.
Yep, it's good to be back. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, so CJ Stroud takes a week off. He's got shoulder pain, some injuries. He's working through growing pains as well. Back in the lineup at Rutgers. What were you hoping to see? What did you see on Saturday night?
I was really hoping for him to come out strong, and of course he did. He never fails to do that. So he came out, really wanted to show to the coaches and to the other quarterbacks that he can step up and be the guy for the rest of the season.
When anybody who goes through these types of quarterback battles, as you have, not just at Ohio State, but before that as well, he had a long year here where Kyle McCord was pushing for playing time and Jack Miller was pushing. And you've talked about that process before, how uncomfortable it can be. Do you think that there was a mental benefit as well for CJ Stroud not to play the week before? And I know it's tough to put yourself in anyone else's shoes, but it seemed like there was both a physical and mental benefit that he was alluding to after the game.
Yeah, I think it was a little challenging for him to step out for that week just to see the other guys go ahead and see what they can do. Obviously, you're always have that thought in the back of your mind, like, oh, what's going to happen if they do great? But obviously he comes back, he does what he needs to do against Rutgers, and here we are now. So
how much of this, he throws for almost 500 yards against Oregon. He wins his first start on the road there at Minnesota, 5 touchdowns and just 6 incompletions against Rutgers. You've been around CJ, spent a year with him. How much of this is a surprise to you? How much of it is going about the way you expected?
No, I think it's going exactly the way it's expected. Not a surprise at all. Obviously, he needs to continue to grow as we get into playing better teams, and we'll see where that goes. But I think he's onto the right start now.
As somebody who has, played this position and knows what it's like to try and learn a new offense, for someone who hadn't thrown a pass at the collegiate level, what were reasonable expectations for the first 5 games? Because there was a lot of talk after Tulsa that, hey, maybe they need to look at somebody else, and it wasn't just they were ignoring maybe the injury, the pressure that comes with that, and what would have been, a normal expectation for somebody in his position for the first 5 games.
Same as always. I'm not really too sure. Just obviously you're playing at Ohio State, so they expect you to come in and be great right away, but that's challenging for a young guy. So, we'll see. That's all I really can say, I guess, is we'll see.
It does seem to be getting a little bit better as that shoulder feels better, and he's obviously he'll get more comfortable in the offense. That showed on Saturday night against Rutgers. We're going to have Gunnar break it down right for us right now. Let's roll the tape. All right, Gunnar, so you look at this, and sometimes it can be just as easy as getting the ball to, Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave or Jackson Smith and Jigba. So this may not be the most difficult touchdown in the world, but what is CJ Stroud seeing here? What's the concept? What are they trying to accomplish?
I think it's really one of the keys to Ryan Day's offense is having these crossing routes, especially when you have, like you said, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Just get these guys out in space when they get out here on the outside, get it to him every single time, and we'll see what happens here. He obviously breaks free and let those boys run, of course.
That looks like it was probably the first read, and we've had this conversation before with Justin Fields. If the first read is there and it's Garrett Wilson, hey, you don't have to make a second one.
Exactly. Makes it easy for the QB.
That's right. Get some of those easy throws and get some confidence. They aren't all that easy. This one is another throw that when you see it, the play obviously comes pretty open. So I think what stood out to me for this play was that I don't know if CJ Stroud felt the pressure coming and the blitz on the back, but he had to stand in there and take a shot to deliver this football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really shows to me personally that he's growing. Obviously, as a young guy coming in, playing college football, those are tough shots that you're going to take here and there in games. So for him to be able to stand in there and deliver this ball, he's getting better, obviously.
Was that something, Gunnar, that I don't know if you needed to see it, wanted to see it, or what, but he ran the football a couple times, and then he takes this shot. Never, showing any with the shoulder, any of that. So that would seem to be, there was a lot of attention on just showing the toughness, being tough and all that coming into this game. I wonder how much you wanted to see of that.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the things that everyone would always say about Justin Fields, how tough he was. And he was, obviously. And that's something you want to see out of CJ now. So just stepping into that role, being a tough guy, and that's what a quarterback has to do, to take those kind of shots and throw touchdowns.
As a quarterback, is that – you guys get hit a lot. You'd have to play through that pain. Is it just a part of – even if his shoulder does hurt, you can't make any excuses? Don't even –
Well, who knows? His shoulder might have been hurting on this, but then he stood up and saw Ruck in the end zone and made him feel better. So I'm sure he was good.
All right, this is the one that I think if you made a list of all the plays CJ Stroud has made so far, this is probably the first one that people can maybe went, whoa, okay, this is the real deal. Gets pressure, eludes it. Tell me what you think a quarterback is going through, its thought process here, and then the panic of maybe seeing somebody come through free.
Yeah. Obviously a great play of him. He's always keeping his eyes down the field, as you can see here, even when the guy's coming after him. If I was Corey Dennis or Ryan Day, I'm sure they're telling him in the meeting, keep two hands on the ball.
Okay.
But I mean, here he comes up and does this, obviously. So great movement in the pocket and great throw, and obviously gets it to another great receiver in Olave and lets him do the work. So.
All right, so this might be graded down even though it's a touchdown because of the
Yeah, that's one of the things they were probably joking about Sunday in the film room. Obviously touchdown, but always something to do better, of course.
How much of that time in a given practice, a scramble drill like this, we know Olave was really good at that with Justin Fields. Is there times in practice where that's done on purpose, or how do you develop that sort of chemistry with a scramble drill like this?
Yeah, they would always try to, even during a 7-on-7 period when we were getting no rush at all, nothing's open, they would teach the quarterbacks to just extend the play, get outside and have an imagination, make it that scramble drill. So when you get times like this in a game, you get touchdowns like this one right here.
Yeah, those guys, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, they're not too bad. This one, I've told people, I'm way over to the left of CJ Stroud in the press box covering this one. The ball came out of his hands and I looked where's this going? Chris Olave had not even come out of his break. And I guess that's the kind of anticipation that you want to see or need to see from a quarterback that seems to be growing for him as the season already gets going 5 weeks into it.
Exactly. Great anticipation. And that's just going through practice and having trust in Olave and him knowing he's going to be there. So great ball. As you can see, he's kind of doing that jump throw at the beginning. So obviously somebody's right in his face, can't really step into it. Really good accuracy as well. So
Gunnar, what else do you want to see from CJ as this season goes on and starting on Saturday against Maryland?
For him to continue to grow. I feel like it's going to be pretty rowdy in the stadium this weekend. So for him to come into that atmosphere and continue to show that this game right here is Ohio State. So
hard to believe that it's getting in the middle of the year and it's just the first Big Ten home game for Ohio State in the Horseshoe, but that's the situation. Homecoming Saturday at noon. Gunnar, I'm going to guess maybe you'll be somewhere around the stadium, won't you?
Maybe a little bit. Definitely watching on TV though. Haven't decided.
All right, there you go. Maybe we'll be back to talk about a little bit more quarterbacks as we go on. Great to have Gunnar Hoak and his insight back with us for Lettermen Row BuckIQ. Thanks, Gunnar.
Yep, thank you.
All right, for Gunnar, I'm Austin Ward. This has been Lettermen Row BuckIQ. We'll see you next time.